With any tool set, there needs to be glue to hold them together. And in the NeoTA tools, the glue is the watch list. If we pop into the watch list, essentially this gives you the ability to create a set of lists that you can put components into to monitor. For example, general market, you could put in the various components and you could put in notes about those components. And therefore you could watch those. Now, what does it mean to watch them? Well, the easiest thing to do is to be able to click on this and get a chart of those various components. For example, if I click on that chart, then 4 pop-ups will appear. One for the daily time frame for that particular chart, one for the weekly, the monthly, and then the trading cube, which gives you the trend qualification trend right across all 3 time frames for that particular component that you clicked on, any sectors, and any general market that it's in. So you can get a qualified trend and charts just by clicking on that one symbol. It's an easy way to get a good comprehensive look at what's happening in a stock, in a sector, in the general market at any particular point in time using the NeoTA charts. So how do you use this? How do you put things into it? Well, it's fairly simple. To create a watch list, you just come here, type in whatever the watch is that you want to do. We'll call it temp. And once you create that watch list, you just save it, and it will create an empty watch list for you. There will be nothing in it. Once it does that, then you can add things. So if we enter in some symbols, separating them by either a comma, and I'll just take this list here, or maybe a space if you want, you can add those symbols in, and then they'll show up, and they'll be here with no notes on them. Once you have them in here, of course, if you want to remove certain ones, you can just remove it, say OK. If you want to remove them all, you could just remove all. That will take them all away. You could also bring them in through a file. For example, if we want to choose a file, we could create a text file, save it, and then we could pull that file in. Coming here, choosing it, importing it, and if we had notes, we could import those too. We would just need to separate it with a comma. Import the list, and then those symbols will also show. Now once you have data, you can download it. So you can click on the download button, and that will pop up, or actually just download for you into, if you're using Excel, whatever you're using, the data that's in your watch list. And so you'll get the symbols, and of course the notes would be here. And then you could, if you wanted to get fancy, you could take those notes in this area here, and you could put some sort of a delimiter in them. So you could have note 1, note 2, 3, and just put a semicolon between them, or a comma, or whatever delimiter we want to use. Update the notes so that it saves it. Once it's saved, right, then you can download that data, and that would bring it in this manner. And then at that particular point, you could go in and do some data manipulation on this, and change the text to columns and use a delimiter and so forth. So it's an easy way for you to have multiple fields if you want in your update notes. Finally, the last thing here is that if you want to, this can be a shared list, or it can be a private list. Private, of course, being only you can see it. Shared, anybody else that's a member can see it if you want to share it. And if you wanted to get rid of the list, you just hit the delete button. It says, are you sure you want to delete it? And it lets you delete that list, and it no longer shows up in your watch list. That's watch list. That's the glue that holds all these tools together, and is a very useful tool to move data to and from one tool to another. Thanks.